Phil Gallo with Billboard, and we're here at the Billboard Hollywood Reporter Film and TV Conference. I'm joined by Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park, who has scored the film The Raid that Sony will be releasing in early 2012.
That's right.
You had a partner on it, but what made you interested in scoring a film to begin with?
It's a great question. I've been approached a few times to do to score for film and TV, and I've done a few little things, but never anything this involved. Not nearly this much work. Mostly because of the band. With Linkin Park, we're constantly on the road, and when we are home, we're writing. And it takes us, to be totally honest, it takes us a long time to make a record. So in between all of that, I think that I was just kind of afraid to stretch myself too thin and add anything else to my plate. But based on the approach by Sony, Keir at Sony reached out to me, and the director Gareth was, he and the director Gareth were fans of what I've done individually, and we kind of brainstormed a way for this to work. And so yeah, it's the first time that I felt like I could really give it the effort that it deserves, and to be honest, I'm having a blast with it, and it's going really well. It's actually going more quickly than I thought, which bodes well for the next project, whatever film that may be.
Now, you have a background. You've studied music, piano theory since childhood. How did that come to play, and is the music a lot different than what we might expect from?
Well, as far as the background, yeah, I studied piano since I was about 3, and I did about 12 years of piano theory. And I find that I always go back to that no matter what I'm doing. I mean, whether I'm writing a song for Linkin Park or something else, or doing something like this, I have to kind of I go back to my piano theory because it's very versatile, and I find that I can relate to other instruments through that stuff I learned there. But on this movie, there are moments. Definitely, I think the guys reached out to me because they wanted a certain sound, and something big and high energy, and I think there are moments in a movie like this, at least, where that can jump right in the front, and it's what the collaboration is all about. But then there are other times when it's important to be able to step back and for the music to be invisible. Clearly, that's not something that I would use as much on a Linkin Park record, and it's something that I'm having fun using in a project like this. And my partner, his name is Joe Trapanese. He was Daft Punk's scoring partner on Tron, and Joe and I have found some great ways to kind of collaborate on both sides of that spectrum, on the big stuff and all the way down to the more the underscore stuff as well.
And how did you find working together? Did you split the duties, or is it?
Yeah, I reached out to Joe because I loved what he did on Tron, and I wanted somebody with kind of an arranger, composer background, somebody who was more came from film and would be able to kind of fill in some of the gaps that I wasn't as familiar with, because I knew we'd need to jump into this score pretty quickly, and I wanted to eliminate some of the learning curve. So that's happened, and it's been a great process. I mean, really, we just trade. We'll trade, mix downs. We'll trade Pro Tools sessions, multi-track sessions, or we'll trade MIDI files, and just basically swap ideas. Some cues in the movie I've done all myself. Some he's done, and then many others we kind of build up to a certain point and leave it unfinished and hand it to the other guy to kind of swap. And so that's what keeps it really fresh and fun, because it's like when I get to a point with a piece where I know it can go many different directions, I can actually kind of just stop there and give it to Joe and see where he goes with it, and then get it back, and then hopefully take inspiration from where he's taken it and build on top.
Yeah. When you write within a band and you hand things to other people, they're obviously they think musically. Here you're writing and you're handing it to people who think visually, plot-wise, etc.
Oh, yeah.
What is the difference in terms of sort of the reactions you get, and how did you deal with that?
I mean, I'll be honest. My first session we had with Sony, where we played them a good chunk of the film, I was a little nervous because I felt like we were taking some risks musically that as I said, I didn't want the music to take over too much. Like there's such a The Raid is an action film, but it's actually got a great story as well, and that was one of the things that drew me in. And I didn't want to distract at all, So played them some stuff, and I'm crossing my fingers that it wasn't too aggressive or too in your face. Luckily, the guys have loved all the stuff that we've turned in, and it's in we're looking at I don't know, a month or so to get in the finishing stages with this score. It's a lot of fun. I mean, when you're writing a song, when I'm writing a song for Linkin Park, I think first of all, it's coming from my side. As you said, it's a personal effort, and in the lyrics and the music, it's all coming from me or coming from us. And with a movie, it's not. You're looking at something that somebody else is trying to convey and trying to support that to the best of your abilities. I went to school for illustration and art, and one of the things that we did daily was we had critique sessions where you'd basically sit down in a class of 30 people, let's say, and everybody would put their work up on the board in front of everybody else, and the entire class would basically tell you why it's terrible. And we all built up over the time that we were there. I think we all learned how to be productive in that situation, how to not come into it and have an ego or have like an agenda as far as like trying to direct what other people are going to say or do. Really, you've just got to just be open to the criticism. Take what you think fits, push back on stuff you don't think fits, be respectful to everybody else in the process. And we want it to be fun. This is what we do for a living. I don't want to do this every day and have it feel like it's painful or it's uncomfortable. And that's why I think we go into this. All of us have gone into this with a really good mentality, a good headspace, and we're coming out with some great results.
That's cool. How long, you mentioned that a record takes a while. How long did it take to sort of write and record this score?
We are, I don't, from start to finish, I don't know, a few months. I mean, we're not quite finished, but if I were to guess, it probably won't be more than 4 months, maybe 3. And a Linkin Park record can take like 18 months at this point, like 12 to 18. It also should be said that, I mean, this score for The Raid is like 50, it's over 50 minutes of music, which is a ton. Yeah. And it wasn't, it wasn't like pulling teeth either. It was, there was a lot of creative freedom that the director gave us, and I think Joe and I definitely flourished in that kind of environment.